I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But let's get straight into it. All right, man. The Eagles found a way to win this game. And I'm sorry, my name is Eagle Al, and we're going to talk about this game. I'm sorry for my rudeness. I always introduce my name. But man, I don't know how we won this game. I can't explain it. There's some things that went our way, some things that went their way. But man, we pulled this one off. Pulled it off. But I'm going to go over what I seen. And first, before I do that, my top three players of the game. Number three, Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith been stepping up big time since Dallas Goddard been out. And we got to be honest. Just like I was honest about Smitty at one point, I got to be honest about AJ Brown at this point. Just not having the best stretch of games. I know he did something similar to this like last year around that Colts middle of the season. He started off really hot, AJ Brown, slowed down a bit, but then he picked it back up. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen again. Like AJ is going to get hot again at the right time. Just that teams are bracketing him. And as we always say, okay, you want to focus on AJ so much, Devontae Smith is going to smoke your other corner. And you know what's going to happen? People are going to shift to Devontae Smith. Then AJ is going to start cooking. And by the time they try to bracket both guys, Dallas Goddard will be back. So I'm not too worried about AJ Brown. And I guess to throw in, a sidebar, shout out to like AJ Brown and even Nick Sirianni, right? Because they got both negative stereotypes about their character. AJ Brown been speaking highly of the team lately. I think the past two games, he only had about 50 yards or even under that combined the last two games. So he's been speaking highly like, yo, Smitty's been balling. He's been balling. No sideline fighting or this or that. He like, yo, my man's been balling. Nick Sirianni today, he was looking for Sean McDermott on the field. I guess Sean McDermott, tough game. He just went straight into the locker room. Nick Sirianni went into the Bills locker room like, hey, Sean McDermott, good game. So that speak highly of their characters. But back to Smitty. What I don't really have the stats on me. I believe he had about 80 plus yards, if I'm not mistaken, a touchdown. And look, he balled out. That's my number three guy. Number two, DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, man, he was the spark plug. Not sure why we didn't really use him in the first half. At some point, I believe it was like our first drive when we stopped the Buffalo Bills. We went three straight passes. And overall, the run game was working. Like Kenneth Gainwell, he was doing good. Boston Scott was doing good. And DeAndre Swift was doing good. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those games. Just run the ball and we'll be able to beat this team. But for some reason, I'm not sure what Brian Johnson was calling, but it caused us to fall behind as usual and come back and win as usual. But man, that 30-yard run to start the second half was a spark plug. And after that, we just did not slow down. We just didn't slow down. So DeAndre Swift, 80 plus yards? I know he caught a pass or a couple passes. So his total yardage was, I believe, was under 100, but easily could have had 120 plus yards. Easily. But Eagles cheated him out of that. Brian Johnson cheated him out of that, in my opinion. All right, number one. I know you guys think I will say Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts isn't like an honorable mention. I'll put him at number four if I name four guys. But number one, I want to name this whole unit, but F it, I'm not. Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott is actually number one because you got to think rainy weather, windy. I live close to the Philadelphia area. It was bad out here. Bad. to kick a 59-yarder to get us to overtime. Because I'm like, if he get us to overtime, we win in this game. I said that. Like, if he get us to overtime, we win in this game. And not only did he make it, if it was like at the 63, 64, he could have still made it. And that just take technique and skill to use the wind and the rain against the ball. Cause he ain't kick it high with velocity. Like, it's a way he kicked the ball, whereas though it could squeeze in like that, and it hit the net. So that lets you know he still had a lot of room to make that kick. So shout out to Jake Elliott. But the special teams in general won us the game. You got to think Jalen Carter blocked the field goal. Sorry, my ring cat hit the thing if y'all heard that. But Jalen Carter blocked the field goal. That shut the kicker up. He missed another field goal. So that's 6 points they missed out on. Whereas though our special teams was on point. Shout out to the special teams, man. As a unit. I wish I could just name them as a unit. But Jake Elliott is my number one guy. He deserves the game ball for sure. I know Jalen Hurts got 5 touchdowns, this and that. But I got to count that first half. So let's talk about the offense in general. What happened? First half was terrible. First half made me want to rip out my eyes, gouge my eyes out. It was horrible. I mean, the miscommunication between Jalen Hurts and Kenneth Gainwell, turnover. We gave them 14 points off of turnovers. And usually you lose that game. They won a turnover battle and still lost. I don't know what was the game plan. I mean, it looked like we was going to pass heavy, knowing the weather was going to be bad. Had to scratch that out going into the second half. Again, DeAndre Swift ran the ball, 2 times, 3 times? That's not good. It's not good. You got to get him started. I'm not sure what's this thing of just pulling him out, trying to get other guys to play. Again, Boston Scott and Kenny G, they look pretty good today. But at the end of the day, those are feature backs or second and third fiddle running backs. You got to get your RB1 going. I get it. DeAndre Swift has a history of being hurt. Maybe they trying to reserve him so he don't get hurt. But, man, if you see how the game was going, you got to utilize him. You have to utilize him. He's a weapon. He is a weapon. I got criticism for saying he's as big as a weapon as A.J. Brown. Remember, I was like, yo, if it's A.J. Brown and DeAndre Swift hurt, I had to pick one guy. I'm not really sure. But, man, we missed DeAndre Swift. We possibly can lose to the Buffalo Bills when the injury report and stuff was coming out. I took a lot of criticism for putting those two on the same level. But after this game, I don't sound too crazy. A.J. Brown didn't have the best game, I know. But DeAndre Swift is that weapon that can go off. He's that spark plug. So, and that's what happened. As far as the offense, again, Jalen Hurts was sloppy that first half. Second half, I mean, come on, man. We turned it up. We turned it up on those dudes. I mean, 4 touchdowns? I believe we got 1 touchdown in the first half to A.J. Brown, but 4 in the second half. Jalen Hurts with the QB draw touchdown. You know, Brian Johnson at this point, he's going to run a QB draw. He don't care how Jalen Hurts' knee feels. I heard that he re-aggravated last game. I'm not surprised how many times we ran him, but Brian Johnson didn't care. We kept running him. Devontae Smith again, big. Can't forget about Zacchaeus. That was just, man, one hell of a catch, one hell of a play off script. Jalen Hurts rolling to his left, tells Zacchaeus go deep, hit him right in the chest, touchdown. Can't argue that, man. A lot of people are like, well, that was Quez. I don't know if he would have caught it. We don't know. We definitely don't know, but Zacchaeus, that was clutch on the 3rd and 15. Can't lie. Shout out to Zacchaeus. Offensive line overall was good besides Jack Driscoll. And I seen even in the second half, we start doing more stuff to the left side. We start running to the left side. Come on, man. If you don't have Lane Johnson, that's what it is. And I didn't even mention that. Let me backtrack a bit. it felt like a game we was gonna lose because Lane Johnson woke up with a groin injury and they took him out. And I think that was smart. I believe that was smart. Take out Lane Johnson because this is one of those games. It's like it's an AFC game. If we lose, we still undefeated in the NFC, but we found the way to win without Lane Johnson. That's huge. We found the way to win without Lane Johnson. I'm just saying, man, shout out to this team on the offensive side. Defensive side, phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. And I say that because the offense wasn't clicking. When it was, 7-17 going into the second half, I'm like, we can come back and win this game, but the offense got to get something going because the defense gave it all they had that second half. I mean, down to the Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, our cornerbacks, James Bradbury was getting picked on and end up catching a pick this game. Seemed like James Bradbury been on these past two games. I can't lie. He's starting to kick up. He's starting to kick up, man. The secondary wasn't as bad to me far as defending the pass, but we did miss a lot of tackles. We missed a lot of tackles. And we missed a lot of players too, because I will say this, Shaq Leonard, welcome to the Philadelphia Eagles. Because Zach Cunningham is dealing with a hamstring. I'm telling how long he's going to be out. But yeah, we need a linebacker now because Kristen Ellis ain't it. He ain't it. He missed a lot of assignments. But yeah, overall, the defense did great under the circumstances they was under. Again, the offense wasn't clear. It felt like it could have been a game where Buffalo could have been up like 30-7 going into the second half, but we held them to 17. I'm just saying, the defense gave it all they had. They start, crumbling in the second half just a little bit. But to me, they made enough plays, especially in overtime, not giving up a touchdown, even though Gabe Davis ran the wrong option route. But again, they did enough for us to win that game. So shout out to the defense, man. It was one hell of a game. But man, Josh Allen, salute to him too. The team just couldn't tackle him. Nobody could. All right, man. Special teams. Special teams was great. Special teams was awesome. It's awesome. Again, Jalen Carter with the block. But Brandon Mann been on one once again. Showing the side call, one hell of a game. Don't want to get too deep into the bad because at one point, all of us were screaming fire Brian Johnson. Then Brian Johnson went into his bag, and it's like, okay, we see why Nick Sirianni loved Brian Johnson. But man, the inconsistency of Brian Johnson, man. I just hope like that type of stuff don't cost us a game, because I felt like this was probably one of those games that might cost us playing that behind BS. But it didn't. We won. We got to find a way to start fast. I know that's going to be preached in the, I guess, locker room. Like, we got to find a way to, like, start fast and finish and stomp a team out, man. We got to learn how to stomp a team out. But great battle with the Buffalo Bills. Great win. We go and play, who we play next? The 49ers. It's going to be a good game. I've seen something where as though these next couple games we play, these teams get a lot of rest before playing us. Like the 49ers are getting a lot of rest because they played Thanksgiving. Then I believe the Cowboys got a Thursday game before us, so they get a lot of rest before playing us, and more than likely purposely done. But again, one hell of a win, Philadelphia Eagles. We gutted that one out. Awesome win. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about it? Trust me, I know I forgot a lot of things. I didn't go too deep into, like, again, Jordan Davis. Awesome game. Awesome game. Didn't go too deep on Jalen Carter, what he did far as not just a field goal block, just stopping the run in general. Awesome game. The cornerbacks, Bayer did a really good job on Kincaid, in my opinion. But I ain't go too deep into anything. I'm just giving my initial reaction. one hell of a win by the Philadelphia Eagles, and we just gut teams out, man. That's what we do. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm a